What if I told you that your greatest setback could be your biggest breakthrough? What if failure wasn't the end, but the beginning of something greater? Imagine turning every no into the fuel that drives you forward, not backward. Let me introduce you to Chris Parker. Chris had a dream, but what he didn't expect was that failure would be his closest companion on the road to success. Chris always dreamed of being a tech entrepreneur. He spent countless hours perfecting his app, refining his pitch, and building his business. The day he launched his startup, he was full of excitement. He was certain that this was the moment he had been working toward. But when the investors came back with a response, it wasn't the one he expected. They passed on his idea. It felt like the world was crashing down around him. Every plan he had worked so hard on now seemed pointless. Chris could have taken that rejection and walked away, but he didn't. He spent days questioning everything, wondering if he was good enough. Maybe this just isn't for me, he thought. But then he remembered something his father had told him years ago. The road to success is never a straight line. It's filled with bumps, turns, and detours. What matters is whether you get back up after you fall. Chris decided to turn his failure into motivation. Instead of letting it defeat him, he began to look at it as an opportunity to learn. He analyzed what went wrong, reached out to mentors, and improved his pitch. Every no he received became a lesson, and every mistake was just a stepping stone to something greater. He didn't wait for the perfect moment. He created it by putting in the work, day after day. The second time he pitched, it didn't go perfectly either, but Chris didn't stop. With each failure, he grew stronger. He refined his app, tweaked his business model, and learned how to present his idea better. It wasn't about avoiding failure. It was about learning how to fail better. The real turning point came when Chris realized that success wasn't about avoiding failure. It was about how you react to it. Success doesn't happen overnight, but with every failure, Chris became more determined. His persistence paid off. Eventually, a major investor gave him the green light, and his startup began to gain traction. His app went viral, and Chris finally saw the dream he had worked so hard for come to life. But it wasn't just the success of the app that mattered to him. It was the journey. The countless rejections, the sleepless nights, the self-doubt, all of it had built him into someone stronger, smarter, and more resilient than he had ever been. Chris's story isn't unique. It's the story of every person who has ever achieved anything worth achieving. The key isn't to avoid failure. The key is to keep going after it. The key is to learn, grow, and use each setback as fuel to push you further. Failure isn't a sign to quit. It's a signal to keep going. Every time you fail, you get one step closer to success. The power of never giving up lies in your ability to turn every setback into fuel for the next challenge. Chris Parker could have quit after that first rejection, but he didn't. And that's why he succeeded. So the next time you face a setback, don't let it break you. Use it to propel yourself forward, because the only real failure is the failure to keep going. Chris Parker didn't give up, and neither should you. Keep pushing, keep learning, and keep moving forward, because your breakthrough is just one failure away.